The November 1st SNAP benefits cuts are affecting many people, not just black, but also white, all across the nation, especially in poor Republican states like Kentucky, Alabama, and Tennessee. And in your black cities like Atlanta, there's a lot of pain being felt. So you have the Atlanta mayor, Mr. Andre Dickens, who is going to come out with a solution for this situation.
Sure that during this crisis of you not getting paid or you're not having SNAP benefits where you're making choices of how to eat or how to pay your water bill, well, we're going to reduce that burden on you so you won't have to pay your late fees or anything such as that. We don't want to be additive to any kind of pressures that people have.
Basically what's happening is this. Andre Dickens is doing a few things. Number one, he's pausing the water service termination. And this happened, on October 30th, 2025. This is the initiative ATO Cares, okay, to support residents who depend on SNAP benefits amid the uncertainty from the federal funding. He's also going to pause evictions in city-owned, city-sponsored, and funded housing units through the same time frame, okay? And so if you live there, then you will typically be okay. Now, in the Georgia area, there's around 1.4 million people who rely on SNAP, with approximately 580,000 in the metro Atlanta area alone. And also you have people who really, really agree with what he's talking about.
Now, the decision comes in light of the current government shutdown. According to local news, there says that Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens has ordered an immediate pause on residential evictions, water shutoffs, as the federal lapse in SNAP benefits threatens to leave families without food assistance starting November 1st. About 260,000 people in the metro Atlanta area rely on SNAP benefits, so having the mayor be able to freeze evictions, as well as the ability to freeze individuals whose water bills may lapse, will help a lot of individuals because you have to put food first.
Now, I'm going to get into that because it's important to know the pause on evictions applies only to, number one, city-owned housing, city-sponsored housing, and city-funded housing projects, all right? For example, these are those that are maintained with city rights, and subsidies are direct funding from the mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. So this will not include independent landlords, apartment complexes, or private property management companies, okay? This is going to be a little bit different than the COVID moratorium. But again, here's what I do want to talk about.
So y'all remember my last podcast guest, Welby, right? So check out what he did for one of his tenants.
My tenant hasn't paid me rent in about 2 years. She hasn't paid me rent. So she stopped paying me rent before the pandemic. And then, like many people, she used the pandemic as an excuse to justify continuing not to pay me. Well, it's over.
So this is a situation where you had a person that is a black person that had to evict somebody. Now, why am I tying this together? We all saw what happened during COVID, okay? And so some of these people may not live in city-owned housing, city-sponsored housing, or city-funded housing, all right? Not everybody that can get paused on evictions would do this. And the reality is that you do have people that are on Section 8. And unfortunately, if you're a Section 8 landlord or tenant, you cannot qualify for what's going on here, okay? So let's say, for example, if somebody loses their SNAP benefits and this person is, getting reduced housing for Section 8, and so they're using that money to then, spend on food. Well, then Section 8, if you live with Section 8, and that's the federal money, then you may not also get the money either, right? So a lot of the landlords that have invested in some of this property may lose it. And I understand that he's trying to help the city, and I get that some people need help. But the reality is this: how long have some of these people been on this stuff? All right, because as you can see, if you're on the federal money like SNAP benefits, you just don't get one. You're typically on a whole bunch of stuff. You're on SNAP benefits. You have some level of Section 8, okay? You have some level of city housing. So you're being affected by a whole bunch of this stuff. And so now, some of these people have been on this stuff for years. And again, my family, when we came from LA back to Sacramento, or my mom moved to Sacramento from LA, there was a time where she was, we were on, some of these benefits for about like a year and a half. We ended up getting off of those things, right? And the reality is that that's the whole point of this. So do we have people on here who are abusers of the system? Like, you've been on it for 10 years, you've been on it for 20 years, and now you don't have to pay, the rent to the Atlanta Housing Authority, because again, that's money that they would use for their own tax basis. Somebody is paying for that anyway, okay? And so while he's doing is a good news and it's good for the community, it's not developing Atlanta, and Atlanta has opportunities. All right, and we're going to keep talking about this. I understand our people need help at times, right? I was a person, our family, when we were younger, we were on this program, okay? So, we used to have the government cheese, that big ass block of cheese. That shit was hard as hell. We was on that welfare powder milk. That powder milk was down bad as hell. I remember those times, okay? But guess what? It comes to a point where you don't have to be on that. And again, there are opportunities out there for you. What are you going to do about it? And again, you should not be a person that is just dusting up the system all day. You just shouldn't be doing that. I'm sorry. I just don't, you know what I mean? And that's the issue. And then saying like, oh, the mayor's doing a good job and he's helping the people out. It's one thing to help the people out, right? But it's another thing for the people to want to help themselves out. And we got to always understand that people are not always going to work to the benefit of the black community. Now, these benefits are not even affecting blacks. The lack of benefits are also affecting whites, okay? You got white people who are not getting these things. And that is important to understand. It is important to know. Not even the white people are getting this, the Hispanics. Everybody's suffering. So at certain points, if you're in a city like Atlanta, Georgia, you're in a place that everybody in the world wants to be. You're in a metropolitan area that got a lot of money, a lot of black business, a lot of stuff. And if you're an able-bodied working adult, at a certain point, can you please tell me why you are not interested in getting your stuff together and getting off the SNAP benefits? Why should the Atlanta Housing be paying for your ass if you done been on Atlanta Housing for damn near 10 years, you done been on Atlanta Housing for 15 years, and you've been out here complaining? That's the issue that I have, right? Our people got a lot of opportunity to do something, and we should not be on it for no 15 damn years, especially you got able bodies, you can work. Now, I'm gonna tell you what's happening too. I've seen certain instances where certain women will tell their kids, don't get a job, okay? Because we're gonna lose our Atlanta housing benefits, okay? If you get a job and start working, we're gonna lose our benefits. So where's that's gonna leave me, okay? We're gonna be poor. And so then you're telling this young man, he might wanna work, go out there and change the community, but because mama gonna lose her benefits, he don't need to work. And I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. Once these black women in Atlanta come across with young black men with this mentality, what are y'all gonna call them? Y'all gonna say they lazy. You're gonna say they don't wanna work. All these young black men wanna do is live off of women. They can't protect no women. They can't provide for no women. This is exactly what y'all are gonna start to say, okay? Y'all are going to say that a lot, all right? And if you're gonna start saying that, then I'm gonna tell you one thing. When these young black men that come up from these situations don't want to be nothing, you talk to who is responsible. Go and talk to their mom, okay? Go and talk to their mom. Stop blaming everything on these young black men, okay? If these young black men, y'all feel like they don't want to, you got to go and now all of a sudden you got to go and date a white man now because dealing with these black men is such a pain in the ass. This is how you find out who is the pain in the ass, all right? And these programs are really stifling a lot of our young black men because they don't want to be anything. Some of them come out of these situations where they feel like somebody gonna always take care of them. They not getting after it. The community is not developing. We're not working with each other. We're not getting anything because, hey, we're getting bailed out. Okay, you get your food stamps cut out. You ain't got to pay your rent or you ain't got to pay your water. And so imagine being a 15-year-old or 16-year-old and being stuck in that same situation. So then you want to come out and then blame these guys. It just doesn't make any sense. So guys, it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again. An episode of Industrial Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Scrub the bell. We're out.